All right. So after 2 weeks away, because my family caught a terrible cold and then I couldn't talk or get away from the kids, we are back. We called it perfect time. Super Bowl's right around the corner. NBA trade deadline is on Thursday. A lot has been going on. We are going to be talking about all of it. So starting off with James Harden being traded, because we don't talk basketball usually, but when it's the Cavs, of course, we're going to talk about it. And then we'll get into changes with coaches and finally wrap it up with our Super Bowl picks. So going to keep you like hanging on by the, what is that? What's
Seat of your pants.
seat of your pants. God damn it. I'm like the edge of your seat. That's the one I wanted. Hanging out by the edge of your seat the whole time, waiting to see who we're going to have win the Super Bowl. Connor is not available. He continues his Florida travels. Worst time ever to do that because it's freezing in Florida still. We still have Ken, though. Ken, happy to have you.
Yeah, I'll make it because nobody else can. It's great. We missed pretty much all of the playoffs. So who would want to hear us talk
1 week of
about
the playoffs, and it was the
just
worst
one?
week. Ask anyone who watched the Patriots versus Broncos.
That game wasn't bad till the snow came in and both teams are like, well, we're just going to run the ball for no yards 3 times and punt it. We'll see what happens.
Maybe we'll get lucky and get a turnover. That was literally had to be the gameplay. It was pathetic. All right, so starting off, James Harden traded to the Cavs for Darius Garland. If you are a Harden fan, turn off the show now, because I'm going to say Ken and I are probably two of the biggest haters of this move. Everyone's like, does it mean LeBron? Does it mean Giannis? And all I can say is, I know for sure it means the Cavs have blown up. James Harden is going to be the reason we win. He's like, yeah, fuck that. Anyways, Zach Lemon, appreciate the intense basketball content, what made their offense good and fun to watch. And now we are down to Harden and Donovan Mitchell iso ball. So I'm very frustrated. How do you feel?
I do feel like the Cavs, especially last year, were like, we have an offense set up where people have specific roles and they have a whole offensive scheme to it. And it looked amazing. Actually, statistically, we had like one of the best regular season offensive teams in like the last decade last year. Let's just blow all that up. Forget that. And man, and we have talked about this. So many reasons I cannot stand James Harden, not just on the court, but also off the court. It is, you're just trading away one like star plus potential for a guy who, he was, how long was it? Like 5 years ago, he was the best player in the NBA. He was scoring 35, 36 points a game and was just so good on the offensive end. But it never, led to any type of winning, never led to any type of defense, never led to any team that honestly was feared in the playoffs. And cool, now we get that in the Cavs. Now, James Harden has destroyed franchises. It's pretty much what he's known for, is just going to a team saying, hey, this was fun for somewhere between half a year and like 1.5 years. And he goes, I want to get out of here. And I want you to trade me to X city. And then he loses all type of trade value because he's only going to accept a trade to one team. One team gets completely trade raped and James Harden just leaves the city and they're like, well, maybe you'll be good in 5 years again, depending on if other superstars want to go there, because usually it's a pretty cool city that I was in. Now let's enter Cleveland. Cleveland is known for treating our amazing nightlife and great no, absolutely not. It's cold. Who was it? Joakim Noah was even like, guys, who on earth is going to go vacation in Cleveland? It's Cleveland. And that was when LeBron was here. James Harden's going to get sick of being here so quick. If we have him here for the length of his contract, I'm giving up. I'm not watching basketball anymore. It's just there's no chance it's going to happen. And he's going to say, I want to go somewhere. And he's just going to leave us in shatters. That's just it. It's not even a bold prediction. I think it's expected at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Talking to my, business owner friends in Cleveland, the number of strip club applications already doubled, and they know James Harden's going to be in there funding them, taking care of them. So you got to keep that man busy on days he's not playing, or after he played, or the morning of a game. Anything you can do, he will be there for the strip club. That man loves them. I'm never going to forget, there was someone came up with the correlation between James Harden performances and number of strip clubs in a city. And there was a clear negative relationship. The more strip clubs you had, the worse he played. So just in terms of personality, not a great guy. In terms of like on-court basketball, absolutely. I'm sure the Cavs are going to win more regular season games with him than Garland because he actually shows up and plays, unlike Garland, who's out all the time. You definitely just cut off your future. And I know it's obvious. You traded someone 10 years older, and you said, that's it. We're going all in, trying to win now with the East in shambles. But it's like with the East in shambles, you got to play the winner of the West still. Like, we're not near the Spurs. We're not near the Rockets. And, then there's OKC and Denver at a whole nother level. I just can't stand it. The ISO basketball that he created caused problems like all the way down in all levels of basketball. You see it run everywhere now. Shoot threes, run spread, pick and roll, and no movement. It's boring. It's not fun to play. It's not fun to watch. So I'm just really disappointed. The Cavs went from a team built on ball movement, getting everyone involved, finding opportunities, to like, I trashed Jared Allen last week before he put up his 40-point game. Now he's probably the third most valuable Cav to Harden and Mitchell, because he's going to be the one catching the alley-oops from Harden. So just disappointed in kind of what the Cavs are now. And I don't think this puts them beyond the second round. Like, they're not a top 3 team in the East still. They need to make another move for that to happen. And the only way I can see it is if they go Mobley and other good things and try to get Giannis. But I don't even know if contracts and numbers work that way.
Do you remember when LeBron was in, I think it was his last year in Cleveland, the first go around, and we just traded for Shaq at the end of his career? And we're like, wow, we got Shaq because we needed an interior defender who could be a big body against Dwight Howard. And it completely didn't work because Shaq was a million years old, couldn't move, and was just kind of there. And we also had Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who also did something very similar. And we tried playing both of them on the court at the same time. Like, it was just a nightmare. I see that exact sort of idea and scenario here. Besides, instead of 2 bigs, it's Donovan Mitchell, who actually still has talent, and then James Harden, who are going to like essentially do the same type of thing out there, but there's only one ball. I don't know. I'm not super excited for it. I'm a Cavs fan, so I want it to work out. If this works out, I'm gonna be really pumped. I get the whole going all in, but pick any other like guy to go after. And by the way, the Clippers are 17-5 in their last what is that, 22 games. Kawhi's looking amazing. And it's like, the guy demanded a trade on a team that's 17-5 in this like chunk of the year. Sounds like a smart, great guy.
Again, like, hammering it home, just not the winner, right? Like, that's been the number one complaint about James Harden whole career. Like,
Just doesn't even care about winning.
no, like, he doesn't show. Like, my favorite stats are like, hey, go Google James Harden game 7s. And it's like, oh man, he got replaced by a backup point guard who played 35 minutes and just didn't shoot the ball and stood in the corner. It gets really bad in terms of like, he goes Ben Simmons, man. He doesn't even look at the hoop. He's like, I'm good. I'll get my 8 or 10 assists, whatever it is. But that 25 points I was scoring all series, that's not happening. So I don't know. We got Donovan Mitchell. Maybe he'll score 50 in those games.
And that's the thing. Donovan Mitchell's still that good, man. But like, there's not much going on in the East. Maybe we can like slide in and steal, a couple wins in a series or 2 in the playoffs.
Yeah, but again, I brought this up in the group chat. It just drives me crazy. It's like, in order to, like, the Pacers and the Thunder set the tone last year of, we're going to full court press all game long and make your point guards miserable. Just, they have to handle the ball. You're going to be pushing 8-second violations. Your offense is going to be like delayed. And it did give the Cavs troubles last year, but that was because like Garland was hurt and in and out of the lineup. James Harden doesn't play well against that. Like, he's a solid ball handler, but he's not athletic, and he doesn't want to play 36 minutes of, I have to bring the ball up aggressively and deal with pressure. He wants to like dribble up casually, set up, and just take a breather for 10 seconds before, spread, pick and roll, step back 3. I just can't see with like Detroit, who is fierce and mean, they'll put Osar Thompson on him and just delete him from the game. And so, just disappointing.
I'd like to say, well, yeah, he hasn't played with anyone in the backcourt like Donovan Mitchell. And then you're like, oh yeah, just like, Russell Westbrook, and then, Kevin Durant in there.
Chris Paul, like,
Chris
they
Paul, like,
had
literally the best players in the NBA.
Kyrie Irving, the Nets thrived when someone was out. Like that was how good. That's how their team was built, and they had three superstars. It was. It's like Tyrese Maxey went from a good backup point guard to like a star because James Harden left Philly. I don't see any like guards next to him who play well. Kawhi plays well with him because he's like, I don't need the ball all the time. Give me it for my 40% of possessions. I don't see it going well, and he doesn't match Cleveland like ethos, like hard work, right? That's when you talk about like Cleveland Browns football, Cleveland Guardians baseball. It's like the blue collar-esque side of the city. We want that to show up in our stars,
The
and
hard work,
instead,
underdog, dog, try hard, good defense, play defense.
it's like, yeah, just absolutely disappointing across the board, in my opinion. And that we haven't even talked about Darius Garland, who's like one of the few true point guards remaining in the league. The guy who doesn't want to shoot a lot unless it's like, dictated by the defense. Got offenses set up well. And now I'm disappointed he goes to LA, but like it's a good opportunity for him if he can get healthy. He was one of my favorite Cavs until this year, him and Mobley falling off a cliff in terms of like production/health. Like I hope they can both get better and rebound, but also like I made the joke that he could have his Curry contract coming up. Like Garland's contract expires 2 years from now. If he resigns for like, a $30 million per year deal, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for his team. And he's an all NBA caliber player if he were to be playing.
So my only thing from an injury standpoint is any type of toe or feet, like actual injuries, are just really, really nagging, especially for positions that require a lot of athleticism, a lot of cutting, a lot of planting, a lot of pushing off. And it talked about a lot at like running back and wide receiver. You had Peyton Manning back in the day who had plantar fasciitis, and then they're like, oh, just tear it. The surgery was literally just tear the thing and to deal with it because you don't move much. Now, the exact opposite of that is an NBA point guard, and especially an undersized one, because I mean, it's all hustle. It's all just lots of quick push offs, twisting, turning, a lot of jumping. There's so much pressure on the feet. It's hard to rest them. I mean, on a normal day, if you get 10,000 steps, it's 5,000 steps on an injured toe. Now add that to a level of basketball where, especially if you're hustling, I mean, you can like run like lateral movement like up to 2 miles a game. It's a lot of movement and pressure on the feet. So it really is just rest and taking care of it. Clearly wasn't enough time in the off season. It's still been a nagging injury, as in the same one on the opposite side of the foot. Those things, it take time, but still, he's still young. He's 10 years younger than James Harden. Like, it can be something he can completely recover from.
So speaking about the NBA, let's wrap it up with Giannis. Do you have any preference in where he goes? I don't want to predict about where he goes because it's totally a crapshoot. Kalshi's up and down every day. Sometimes it's the Warriors, sometimes the Heat, Minnesota. But like of those three, Heat, Minnesota, Chicago's apparently working their name in the hat. Would you have a preference?
What type of trade package? I was like, what type of trade package does Miami even have for him? I was trying to look it up earlier, and I was like,
it's something like Andrew Wiggins, Tyler Hero, and some first round picks. Like, to me, it's a very underwhelming trade package of like, back of their prime kind of guys. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For him, I don't mind seeing him like paired with like an aging Steph. I think that would be pretty cool. Something where he doesn't have to be, ball in his hands. Like, I kind of would want to see him in Golden State. I know that that's like painful to say as a Cavs fan, but I mean, that's where it make it interesting. I just don't want to see him on the Timberwolves. I don't know what it is about them. Like, I think I like Anthony Edwards, but I mean, just like Julius Randle's already there. Rudy Gobert. It's like, I mean, how many like bigs? I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna be as fun to watch.
I will say, according to Kalshi, getting rid of Garland pretty much guts our chance of getting Giannis or AD, which I don't care about AD. Like, I'm not going to talk about a guy who's not going to play. And when I say that, I mean, AD may play like half of the remaining games of his career because he's always hurt. I would love, like, Warriors is like a dream, man. Could you imagine, like, teams have to put three guys in the paint for Giannis and then they have to double team Steph at the 3-point line? Like,
And then
there's
Draymond
just no
Green's just
good
running
answer.
wild, man. Just running wild. Oh, I love it.
Draymond Green 0 for 20 from 3. Yeah.
I think he's actually been shooting pretty decently, which is I find
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's
It's
been better.
so ugly watching it. But no, I think it would be good. And I guess we're at the point where like Steph's like past the prime, but still killing it. Where I just like to watch him play. Just better than like the straight iso ball.
Yep. Minnesota though. Okay, you say no T-Wolves. I think I think that'd be fun. Like, I would love just another team in the West that, because for some reason I always forget the T-Wolves are good. They've been to the conference finals the last 2 years. They lost to, I can't even remember who it was 2 years ago. They lost
Anthony
to the
Edwards
Nuggets.
got hurt last year.
Yeah, see that too. Anyways, they've been to the conference finals the last 2 years, and they're a good team. I always underestimate them. And I think they would just be a fun team that with superstar power could go against like the depth of OKC or like just Jokic. Like, I mean, I know Jamal Murray's good at basketball and playoff Jamal Murray's really good at basketball, but I'd take Giannis and Ant-Man over them. So if whatever they have to do, I would love to see those matchups. And that's all I care about.
I like Julius Randle out there. I don't think they all fit together on the court. That's all it is.
It's fine. I get it. I'm not going to argue because I think you and I have already agreed Giannis is not being traded until the offseason anyway.
I don't think
So
he's being traded.
just curious about where you would have wanted to see him. All right. That means we're on to coaches. So since we talked, I don't know what we covered. Maybe Harbaugh had been signed somewhere, but all 9 of the coaching spots have been filled. So like the obvious ones, the headliners to start the coaching war. It's like the coaching bidding season. It was Harbaugh over to the Giants, and Stefanski was the other kind of favored coach who had been fired looking for a job, and he went to the Falcons. Oh, Ken, do you think those teams, do you think they're the winners of the coaching cycle, right?
So I gotta tell you, the whole Browns thing, I know. Talking about Stefanski, talking about Browns again. I mean, Todd Monken's the clear winner here. I mean, Stefanski got fired from what were we, 3? How many wins did we have? 5, I think.
5.
Yeah. And he got fired and immediately got picked up. And then his job could not get filled. I mean, what does that tell you about an organization? So just with that, tons of pessimism for the Browns. I actually kind of hope that Stefanski does well. That would be contradictory to what you might hear in our family group chat. A lot of people think he's a bum, but I mean, I just think at the end there, the whole like Deshaun Watson like setup and scenario just I think blew up literally everything for him. So I wish him well. You know, they have a decent team over there or offense in Atlanta. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually is that 2-time coach of the year and can, make stuff work with some pieces or not. I did want to mention that when Harbaugh was looking at spots, I said, hey, the smart thing to do would be wait and see whatever playoff position opens up because you might find a better spot. So he signs with the Giants and like immediately, I think it was just like a couple days after the Bills position opens up. And I go, that's why you do that because man, that would have been way better than going to the Giants. By the way, it's tons of, and immediately after that, what happens? Some pretty uncool news for the Giants and the whole like their co-owner situation. So I'm sure Harbaugh would much rather be in Buffalo right now, except for no, it's cold in New York too.
Yeah. I mean, he's in South New York compared to North New York right now, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I think I just want to brag that you and Connor were dead wrong. I nailed those 2 picks. I had Stefanski to Atlanta and Harbaugh to New York before it all took place. But no, I think Atlanta hit a home run. I think the Giants are going to take longer to just get more players. We talked about it last year. They need able bodies, and Harbaugh will probably have them as an 8-9 team next year. But with how bad the South is, like you got to remember that whole division was 7-10 to 8-9 or 9-8 or something like that. Like there is not a lot of wiggle room for success in the NFC, or there's a lot of wiggle room for success in the NFC South. And I can see Stefanski like actually coaching, bringing in like some innovation to the offense in Atlanta. I thought Zach Robinson didn't really do a good job. Like, that's just the bottom line. I thought they were very predictable. I thought Drake London wasn't used appropriately, except for when he was getting those 3 touchdown games.
Except for when he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Except he had like 4 straight games that were great, and then they sat him down for the rest of the year pretty much. So, and I also think they were like really close to winning some games that bad things just happened. Like they took a lead with like 30 seconds left against Tampa Bay, and then they gave up a touchdown or something like that. They had a missed extra point to lose to the Patriots after scoring with 2 seconds left. So I think they are a lot closer to success. And I think Stefanski can be like the lighter fluid that just, lights that whole thing up. So I'm really happy for them. Uh, moving on to,
Yeah. Oh,
the
real
other,
quick. Yeah. No,
go ahead.
just to go off that, I was going to say they almost beat the Patriots, who won the AFC. They kind of smashed the Bills, who, especially in the playoffs, were like, that might be the best team in the AFC. And then they beat the Rams, and they beat them pretty good. And then, of course, the Rams came back, but they still pulled it off towards the end of the year. And that was like with Kirk Cousins on his last leg and barely, noodle arm in it. But I mean, they played some really solid games, and then just in between had some absolute embarrassments. There's definitely potential on that team.
So yeah, moving on to the other, we'll start with kind of sort by wins as we talk about these coaching hires. The next up, I would say the Steelers. I think this is going to be fast for us. Like I was pessimistic. I thought they hit home runs with their coaches, and that's why they were connected and had that culture. I didn't think they were exceptionally good at hiring coaches, and lo and behold, they go and they take their aggravated quarterback from Green Bay and reunite him with the coach who aggravated him. Like everyone's about Aaron Rodgers and how they want him there. And then they got the guy who pissed him off and ran him out of Green Bay. So I think Mike McCarthy, miserable move. They have a Steelers fan friend. He's like, yeah, I'm just pissed. I'm probably not going to watch the Steelers next year.
That's not true. It's not true.
He did not watch
We
them
all
this year.
say it.
He said that, and he was happier
Really?
about it. He's a bigger college fan.
Okay.
Anyways, it's not Connor. Back to the point. Mike McCarthy, biggest mistake. The only thing that they're fortunate of is that Arthur Smith is now at Ohio State. Which I'm sorry, Ohio State fans.
I made some very compelling arguments before to say, hey, that Steelers job, it's a whole culture thing. They have a great front office, really like, invest in their coaches, give them the opportunities, give them like, 5 years, who knows, 20 years really, to let them go. And as soon as I hire that, I'm like, well, I can't believe I was so wrong. I can't imagine that McCarthy stays around. I just don't know what they're thinking. I think they're getting the guy who, had that Packers team and it was really just Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if they're just like Aaron Rodgers, kooky guy, maybe just had like a change of heart, hit some nostalgia and was like, hey, maybe I'll stick around for a couple years if you guys get McCarthy. And then it's like their hope that it's like, hey, maybe he sticks around so that we can have a playable quarterback, because they're far from it, if you don't have him. So I don't know. I have no clue on earth what the thought process.
This is the first time I think the Browns have a better future for the next 5 years than the Steelers.
I wouldn't say that, but
I'm
we're
just
still
saying,
the
like,
Browns. They just made the playoffs.
I understand, but that was my argument, and they just downgraded at coach by a mile. Like, I'm not buying anything the Steelers have or are doing at the moment. I think not next year. Next year, the Browns are still in Deshaun Watson hell. It's like the last year. After that, things will be better. Moving on. I know what you're thinking. Phil said he's talking about wins order. Well, the Steelers won their division, and that's why we skipped over the Bills, because they did not. So Buffalo Bills promote Joe Brady to head coach. And I can tell you that is the most disappointing move after firing Sean McDermott. Like, it was one that I kind of saw coming. I just didn't want it. I thought Clint Kubiak or an innovator offensively could be, again, like the Stefanski to Atlanta, lighter fluid that blows that thing up. And instead, it's like, we want what we had previously, but we just don't want Sean McDermott. And it's like, I don't know why you're switching it up that way. I always thought their offense was pretty vanilla for what it was. They don't have good offensive players. The only thing I've seen come out of this is Keon Coleman. Congratulations. Might be a fantasy steal guy to go get in a dynasty league because Joe Brady's hyping him up.
Their owner certainly wasn't. Man, it's one of those things where it just seems like McDermott's just a scapegoat. Like, yeah, they underperformed. I mean, honestly, all year, like that they just didn't quite look that great. A lot of it was, I think, their defense. Bit of it was like limitations outside of their run game and Josh Allen on offense. But when you're like, hey, we're keeping pretty much the team together. We're just getting rid of the captain, man. And so you're like, hey, like, I don't know, you could have had so much. I mean, that had to be the most attractive job. I mean, maybe Baltimore with Lamar, but Josh Allen, I think's kind of just more recently shown more than Lamar. But when they're talking about, I heard it where when you're looking at a team, when you're looking at building just a good roster, over 50% of it is quarterback. Like if you have a great quarterback, you're like, cool, we're 55% of the way there already. That's more important than any other position on offense and anything on defense. They have other bits and parts. Yeah, they got injured on defense. Their defense looked really good towards the end there. They definitely need to fix up the line a bit. They definitely need to fix up, get a couple good receivers. But man, I mean, they have that was the best spot. They could have got any candidate they wanted. They really could have gone. I mean, anyone, and they decided to keep it in house. I just don't get it.
All right, moving on to the next best offense. Yeah, the next best quarterback, Lamar Jackson, getting Jesse Minter from the Chargers. I thought Jesse Minter had done a fantastic job with the Chargers. I, in general, don't like the DC moving, and I am not sure who they will have at all offensive coordinator. I see Joe Lombardi is set to be like a contributor there, and I've been disappointed in Joe Lombardi. He was a Saints guy with Sean McVay, and then he was recently in Denver with Sean McVay or not McVay, sorry, Sean Payton. And to that end, I think Jesse Minter is a very good fit in terms of Baltimore culture. I think he will bring some innovation and spunk back to the defense that really needed it, right? Without Kyle Hamilton, that defense was like league worst. They couldn't do anything. So I'm excited to see that end. But until this team figures out how to build an offense around Lamar, I'm kind of disappointed in like not trying to throw more resources and game planning towards that end of the field.
Their offensive coordinator is Deacon Doyle. Have you ever heard of him?
Deccan Doyle.
Deccan, maybe? Yeah, Deccan. Offensive coordinator for the Bears. So
So
year
trying
under,
to trying to get some brain power off of Johnson.
yeah. But I was like, hey, that's not bad. I mean, I see some comps between Caleb Williams and Lamar. But no, I mean, I'm fine with that. Like Jesse Minter, like I think that he's a good AFC North style. Like I mean, part of the Ravens, yes, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and good tight ends, on the offensive side. But they always had just an above average, just good defense. Even like when they weren't expected or they had low expectations, they still, put together a good team when they weren't, the most injured team in the NFL. So I kind of like the hire there. I'm fine with that, but it really is, hey, can you find some magic with this young offensive coordinator? And, can you I mean, hey, here, young offensive coordinator, young mind, and let's give you, the decade's best running back over the last 10 years. And then Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, he's won a couple MVPs. See what you can do with these guys who you literally cannot replicate on another team. You cannot replicate on a defense or a scout, like nothing. So have fun with it.
All right, next up, the Miami Dolphins, I think, had 7 wins. Like looking
They
through this,
did. I know.
I'm working off my head like on this, and it just blows my mind. Jeff Halfley is hired from the Packers because I believe the GM brought in was from the Packers organization. And let me tell you, I hate the nepotism. I am out. So, like, and I know it's not nepotism, but I'm just no way. So I actually, when we watched the Packers, we always said that their defense was like very, very underwhelming in terms of everything. Like they didn't create big plays. They didn't force turnovers. There was nothing that they did to swing games. And you went and you got their defensive coordinator. So I want more spice out of the guy. I want more creativity out of my head coach, and it's just not there.
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. They don't have tons of pieces and parts on like defense either. I mean, you're just not giving them like tons to go off of. I don't understand. I didn't even know he was even, a consideration for a lot of teams before this. So they did get Bobby Slowick on the offensive side, which is kind of interesting. I mean, he definitely showed some bright lights and made CJ Stroud look really good for a year. So it'll be interesting to see. But I mean, they need a new identity. They need a lot. Just a lot of stuff there. It is interesting because Mike McDaniel, I mean, they put together, what were they this 10 a year? They were something like 5-3 maybe, or, I mean, they put together some decent wins. So, I mean, there might be something there, but whatever it is, it's not Quinn Ewers.
There. That's the Dolphins. And next up, our Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken. Man, I hate this. Do you know why I hate it? Because anyone that wanted the job, anyone that we thought would be good hires, turned down the opportunity. Don't like, could you imagine being like, man, mom, I brought home 4 different women in like 3 hours because every time I pulled up to the house, one jumped out of the car. So I just had to go get a new one. So
And to run them over and then go get another one.
You think you can get away? No, yeah, I'm just out on Monken. I didn't think his Ravens offenses were that good in general. I don't know what he sees. Like he's already talked up Shador and Deshaun saying there's QB competition. So just not buying anything done. So I'm out.
I mean, I think that's an understatement. There has to be a QB competition because there is no starter. So yes, there has to be some type of competition. But the big thing with Monken is pissed me off the most. If you guys saw that video of like him meeting Shador, he's like, "Oh, we tried to get you," and I'm like, "You tried to get him in the 5th round. Like 5th round quarterbacks are for cuts, man. Like you'd be like, oh, buddy, but yeah, we wanted you. Like, no. If you want someone, maybe get him in like the 3rd, like that Dylan Gabriel guy." But a shout out to looks like future Pro Bowl MVP Shador saying
My God.
that I promise that's the last I will bring up anything about the Pro Bowl. Besides, I'm so pumped for Flacco. But no, I mean nobody else wanted it. I really think that this was a low risk, get a guy like a guy that the players will respect because I guess Jim Schwartz wasn't a good idea for some reason. If you're going for like the interim style for like just be there for a few years, like that's it. By the way, when he was talking today, he was pretty much like, I don't know if that Jim, like, I don't know what Jim's going to do. And it's like, yeah, Jim Schwartz does not want to be there. He's pretty much like told people that I'm gone because I got utterly disrespected. It's not like it was a prime coaching candidate they got. They got like the last offensive guy who was available pretty much.
So a guy I follow on Twitter was like, what does Monken's notes on, I didn't try to chip Jim Schwartz and I chipped Myles Garrett. Like, what does that mean? And everyone is responding to that. Like, oh, it's like an NFL thing. Like you chip Garrett because you're giving him extra attention. I go, my interpretation is Monken's view of this is like his children and who's he's going to microchip and follow around. I'm like, Myles Garrett is his 16-year-old daughter who, yeah, she ain't leaving the house without, full GPS tracking and Monken knowing where they're going. Versus Jim Schwartz he's not going to chip him, which means, yeah, he's like his 18-year-old son. Just call if you're going to be home late for your curfew.
Phil,
So,
stop. You are everything that is wrong with society right now. I'm not kidding. So this is so simple because all you had to do is not take a small clip of what he said and listen to the clip right before then,
really?
where he says, I'm here for the players. When I game planned against the Browns, I game planned against the players. I game planned against Myles Garrett. I planned to chip Myles Garrett. I didn't plan to chip Jim Schwartz. He was saying that he's there because of the players, not
in my defense. These were Twitter quotes and I was working and I just thought what I said was really funny. Mine was a joke.
But there is no difficulty with interpretation with this whatsoever. All you need to do is read what he actually said. You don't have to try to figure out what he actually said. He said it. Oh
yeah,
my
but
God.
if you knew what he meant, then the microchip joke doesn't work.
Yes, exactly. Man. But all he was saying was, hey, half the reason I picked Cleveland is because the defense is really good. We have really good players here. And yes, we can get other people to coach it if Jim doesn't want to stay here. And it pretty much like he could stay here. I don't know if he's going to, because he pretty much told people he's not going to stay there. Point being, Phil, just read the whole quote. All you have to do.
Okay.
Man,
I'm sorry that I told a joke. Go ahead.
Twitter's
Yeah,
like all these Twitter investigators on what he was trying to mean. Let's interpret this, or maybe let's just read what he said.
or we can just take a joke, Ken.
If
All
so,
right, move on with your life. Go yell at a stand-up comedian next. Anyways, where were we on Munkin?
we're done with Munkin.
So you're out on him too, huh? Just disappointed.
I think that he knows, just like anyone else, this is a stand-in, and he was probably never going to get a head coach job. So he's getting that opportunity now.
All right. We are getting close to the end. So
Whoa, whoa,
let's
whoa!
do.
What
Hmm?
you want to talk about?
I
Matt
got two more.
LaFleur?
Yeah, dude, can you be at the end of the
I'm
list
sorry, you got
of
me
the
all
coaches?
pissed off because you're doing this whole like taking like misrepresenting what people are saying, even though they said it thing.
Oh, Ken, that was a really funny joke you told. All right, Arizona Cardinals next up. Mike LaFleur. Honestly, I'm just all reports every time I hear something out of Arizona, it's just how disappointing like the environment is in terms of like facilities, support for the team. And Mike LaFleur is coming from the Rams. And I don't know if you saw, but Devontae Adams gave a speech to Rams this year. He said, guys, enjoy this and don't ever leave. I've played in Vegas. It's awful. Don't think you're going to get this kind of treatment. Don't think you're going to get spoiled anywhere else. Like, you guys are treated very well. Appreciate the little things, because if you go somewhere else, you're not going to have them. And now Mike LaFleur goes from having, Sean McVay above him, tons, or Stafford, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, to the Cardinals, where it's like, are you going to keep going with their quarterback who's underperformed, but you're paying him a lot of money? I mean, who would ever do that? Not the Browns. Or are you going to go with the backup who looks to clearly play way better to feed your weapons? So I don't know if Michael LaFleur was more of the brains or just listening to Sean McVay. And I know he's going into a worse situation. I'm not sure I'm buying it. So I think this is one. If I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm pretty happy with the hire. But if, in general, do I think it will work out? I don't think it will work out.
I think it's a whole like just that, hey, underperforming team, lightning in a bottle with the, kind of the new coach under like the McVay tree, and see how it works. Also, maybe there's some good genetics involved too. Isn't he like Matt LaFleur's like younger brother or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So maybe it runs in the family, hey, it works for Shanahan's and Kubiak's and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's interesting because the more I'm seeing about, different teams, seeing that a lot of like who starts isn't really up to the coach sometimes, which kind of sucks. I can't remember. Oh yeah, that was the GM for the Vikings, was like the guy who was like super pushing for JJ McCarthy to start. And was KOC was like, that's not going to work. Like, no, we can't pair JJ McCarthy with old vets. We need to get something else. And like the GM's like, no, stick with McCarthy. And it's like, that's when the coach is like, that's not going to work. Like, that's his job. And it just seems like that happens a lot. And the question is did Mike LaFleur get a job where they're like, hey, you're sticking with Kyler? Or is this like, hey, you can do your own thing? Because I think that the coaching choice is obvious, but when the GM and owner say you got to go with someone because that's where the money is, I think that kind of trumps it sometimes.
Last up, Tennessee Titans. I'm sorry, we have the Titans and the Raiders. So second last up, Tennessee Titans. I like Saleh. We talked about it. Like, I thought he did a great job coaching the 49ers defense this year. Took literally like the ashes of a team and won a playoff game. I know he held down the Eagles offense, which you and I probably could have done, but like, they still did it with backups. So I'm happy he's getting another shot. I would have been much more disappointed in this if I did not see how much Sam Darnold is thriving. Like, it's so funny to say that I think Saleh was coaching Darnold in New York. I could be wrong on those timelines.
Was he? I don't know. I don't think Saleh
I
was
might
in New
be way
York
off.
very long.
He was in for 4 years.
Was he really?
Yeah. So it might not have aligned. Like, gosh, Baker and Darnold have been way longer in the NFL than I thought. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is I seeing success of people that don't play for New York now. And like the guy definitely deserves a shot at a real job. Cam Ward, the AFC South, like I know the Jags put up had a good win total. The Texans had a good win total, and the Colts had a good win total. But do you really buy those teams? Like, are those perennial All Star Pro Bowl team or perennial playoff teams? Texans are proven, yeah, but like the Jags every year they win 13-1. They'll win 5 games next year. So we'll see. I think Salah can come and just bring in a culture and a spirit to Tennessee as long as they let him stay and do it.
That's the interesting thing because, I mean, being with the 49ers, that is pure culture. Like that's what got them through was like, hey, good coaching, good like win first mentality, and like having backups play better, better than their talent for X amount of games. The question, though, I just don't like pairing a young quarterback who, I mean, can get broken in this league. And you see it all the time with quarterbacks drafted to bad teams and pairing them with a defensive mind. It's like, you want to kind of get it right. Like it's the whole, like Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson like situation. Like you want to, get your, high draft pick, quarterback into like a facility to win, get him in the right mindset, set up the offense first and then figure out like the defense later. It's kind of how I would want to do it. And I would have rather see them go with someone a little bit more like on the like offensive mind.
They have Brian Dable as OC, which I like. So I'm kind of
And
biased
that's
that that's a
good.
good pairing.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the whole like, hey, do you have two like co-head coaches or do you have a head coach and then an offensive coordinator? Dable's definitely a decent one to go. I mean, hey, worked for Josh Allen, so
All right. So last up, I think the home run of them all, and people are pessimistic on the Raiders, but I see no team with less commitment to bad players than the Raiders. Like they are a team without a lot of bad contracts. They are a team with a few really good players, and they just handed it over to Clint Kubiak. Allegedly, can't be officially announced until post Super Bowl. But I'm just in on it. Like you get a rookie court, you get Mendoza coming in. I'm sure he will be the number one pick going to Vegas. You have your running back, you have Brock Bowers. You need to find a receiver, but I'm sure if you take 2 or 3 high end in this, maybe trade back up into the first round, get one late in the first, or settle for whatever receivers after pick 33 after the first round blows through. You'll probably get I think I see 6 receivers projected to go in the first right now. Get the 7th or 8th best in this loaded draft. It's perfect time. And then throw resources to try to make your offense functionable and get some heartbeats on defense. I really think the biggest problem, and everyone's excited, is just like you're in a division with the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers, and they look all like 9-win teams the next 5 years. Where are you going to get your wins? So excited for Clint Kubiak to have an opportunity. I wish he had gotten a job that was more clear to win a division, but it looked like it was between this and Arizona for him. And I actually would stay away from the NFC West.
yeah. No, I think the NFC West. I don't even think it's that hard of a conversation where it's like that's a better division right now. If you're looking at the bottom, if you're looking at the Raiders versus the Cardinals in the competition, I do think the top 3 teams in the NFC West are better than the top 3 teams in the AFC West. And I know it's tough because it's Mahomes.
Well, I was going to say, Stafford could retire this year or next year, but I'm like, I just get the strange feeling that McVay is going to be one of those guys that's just like, yeah, we're just going to go get another quarterback. What do you mean you're going to get another quarterback? Yeah, we're just going to go trade a couple first, and we're going to go get our quarterback and just be happy and move on.
I don't think it'd be hard. I think like people that like will line up if you're not Jared Goff, will line up to play for Sean McVay.
He's got the next Darnold. He has Mac Jones coming in. Let's be real.
I mean, he'd
We're
probably
just
make it
kidding.
work, but
All right.
no.
Go ahead.
Anyways, Clint Kubiak. I was saying it before, but money, first overall quarterback, stud RB, stud tight end, defensive player of the year candidate, and man, The only thing that they don't have going for them is that they're the Las Vegas Raiders. That's it. So, I mean, absolutely can turn it around. Clint Kubiak can be that guy who's can go from just, offensive mind, offensive guru to turn it into a culture. I mean, that would be awesome. But he has everything. He has all the pieces that you'd want to start with. Yes, they need another receiver, and they have money. They can find one. I don't think they should go and get like an AJ Brown. I think that what you don't want is any type of cancer or dynamite or whatever analogy you'd like to say, that could just blow up a team before it even starts. I don't think you want that. But no, I think that there's a lot of like decent pieces and parts there. I'm in on Mendoza after watching that college football run. So man, I love it. I've liked Frank Kubiak. I think he's done some pretty innovative things to start. So I'm excited for the Raiders.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mendoza's playoff run changed my opinion of this job. Like, I didn't think there was an actual number one quarterback coming out, but honestly, similar to what CJ Stroud did when he was made that run, beat Georgia and everything, and that just made me change my opinion of him. And so now I'm excited for what's gonna happen in Las Vegas. And with that, we have talked a lot about things that aren't the Super Bowl, and now we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. I just starting high level. We didn't talk about the games. I thought last week's NFC or 2 weeks ago's NFC championship, like everyone else, that was the Super Bowl. Fantastic game. A lot of great play. And I sent it in our group chats, but it's like there was a lot of scoring, but that was a lot of great coaching and defenses taking gambles to make big stops and swing plays. It wasn't like, and then the offense is guessing right and hitting the right spots and making chunk plays out of it. It wasn't like Darnold or Stafford being super surgical. Like, what was it? The third quarter, Stafford had 5 completions and 6 target on 6 attempts for like 120 yards and a touchdown. Like, just absolutely absurd numbers. And it's just like, we guessed right. We knew what you were going to do out of the third quarter and out of halftime, and we nailed it. If they didn't fumble a punt, I think
Yep.
maybe
Punt.
we're looking at a different story. Kudos to Sam Darnold for being amazing. Like, that was the first time he actually played a full amazing game against the Rams. In terms of the Patriots, I am just like, you guys got cupcakes coming in. Like, the Chargers without an offense, you got the Texans and CJ Stroud couldn't catch a snap. And then you had the Broncos in a snowstorm with their backup quarterback. Like, this has been paved the way for you to be here. And so I'm expecting a lot of defense and a lot of unders in this.
So real quick on the Patriots. So going through, I know what you just said, but going through that Chargers defense, Houston's defense, Denver's defense, and then Seattle, that might be the best 4 defenses a team has had to go through, like in any playoff run, maybe ever. Now, don't take into the fact that those teams had a combined, I don't know, what was it, like 12 turnovers in 3 games or some absolute insane stat for a playoff team. I mean, you're right. Denver, I mean, is it pretty safe to say that if Bo Nix is there, like that game's not even that close? Denver might win by double digits.
Yeah, I mean, it was set to be 10-0, right?
Yep.
To start the game. And then the most questionable call ever, according to everyone ever, according to all sports pundits, even though everyone's been going for 4th and 1 all year. But because it didn't work one time, now we have to question it.
That is exactly correct. So, oh, by the way, we haven't talked about this on here. I have yet to disagree with a call about a catch and a fumble or a catch and an incomplete pass or anything like that. My only complaint in the playoffs has been too many game-changing pass interference calls in the fourth quarter, not even in the fourth quarter, in like the last 3 minutes of games, like 40-yard pass interference calls. They just need to be egregious. That's just my personal opinion. But every single one of those, oh, is it a catch? Oh, and kind of similar to the exact same garbage that Phil just pulled with this whole commenting on like an X or Instagram post. Like, oh, Brandon Cooks, look at this one stop or this one picture where this looks good. It's like, if you watch the play or if you watched any other play where you don't slow down, just look at one thing, it's not even close to a question. It's like, Sorry. I mean, if they would have called it the other way, people would be like complaining even more. So that Brandon Cooks one, that was just clearly an interception. That Cooper Cup one, that was very clearly like great play by him to make a first down. Just good plays. I don't know. There's a Devontae Adams one, and it's like, yes, all of them were just right on the field. And it's just easy to complain about stuff like these 50-50 or like these plays that swing plays, I guess, in games.
My only complaint for Brandon Cooks is that they didn't review it. And I'm not trying to be critical.
Nothing
it's
to
like,
review.
but it's like, it's 7.5 minutes left, literally stops. Like, if it's called a completion, the Bills win, bottom line. It's like, if it's in the fourth quarter, it gets a challenge flag. Just like, take the extra 5 minutes. We sit and we watch so many BS plays for no reason. Take the 5 minutes, go in the hood and like placate everyone so that you can be like, yeah, we confirmed this call. And they didn't even do that.
My argument to that one is every single turnover gets reviewed, and it's like the quick review, and that's all they needed because it was the right call.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't trust the people in the sky. They're out here saying things like, what does chipped mean? And that's clearly microchips.
Yeah. And like the last play regulation where it's like, oh, Brandon Cooks, like he was held on this thing. Yeah, guess what? He was held.
Don't care.
It was, yeah, exactly. You don't care if flags aren't called. You care if they're called. I don't know. There's that one.
I was gonna say they're only saying that BS because of the 2 DPIs, but that's a different issue. I don't want to talk about that.
All right, that's my complaint. Right.
Super Bowl
soapbox down. So, what are you talking about for the Super Bowl?
Any thoughts about the game? I'm over here
telling also,
you it's going to be
I'm sorry,
all unders.
I'm still on these conference championships here. You're saying that there's no defensive plays. Seattle had, forced Matt Stafford to get like a 3-yard run on the 4th and 2, which was, I mean, just a great play by Stafford, but, that was a great 4th down conversion. And then they won on a 4th down, like it was a 4th and 2 conversion stop. So like there were big defensive plays. There are just a lot more offensive ones, but I do think it was some decent plays. I think that Seattle's defense even looked better. Yeah, there were some just openings that the Rams schemed right, but I think a lot more of it was there were just some throws that Stafford had to hit. Like there were some more like narrow windows, more so in the fourth quarter, not the third quarter. Jesus, third quarter was insane. But no, I do think that Seattle's defense is just hitting on all cylinders, and I think that that's going to be more so the difference in this game. The Sam Darnold, the Patriots defense has just lived off of making mistakes from the other team, specifically like sacks and turnovers. And like people are like, oh, Sam Darnold, that's what he does. I just think that this Seattle defense is so much better than anything that New England's had to do because they're not going to get 4 turnovers like they did against Houston. If Houston has half as many turnovers, I think that game is Houston actually wins.
If Houston has Nico Collins, I think they win. I think it changes everything.
No, I'm sorry. CJ Stroud can't play poo-poo garbage like that.
No, I think it's a lack of confidence because you don't have your best receiver. I'm just saying that now because it supports my argument.
Okay.
See, when the facts meet my opinions, that's when you have truth. Mac.
Perfect. I saw a quote where it's like, the truth is what you believe. And I was like, that's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Anyway, so no, I think that Seattle's defense and just having to have played real football games in the playoffs really make a difference. I think Sam Darnold can make a few mistakes. I mean, he just doesn't have to he just can't have 3 turnovers. And when Sam Darnold does get, turnovers and bad plays, they come in bunches. The question is like, can he hold those off? Because I don't think that the Patriots are going to be able to move the ball because they really haven't been able to move the ball. They didn't do much against Denver. Their offense didn't do much against Houston. And actually, I think the game was like 10-3 or something like that in the third quarter against the Chargers too. Like their offense has not been MVP Drake May like you saw in the regular season. And I think it's going to show real bad here in the Super Bowl.
When we talk about like bets and stuff, like I have Seahawks money line due to there was 100% profit boost at Fanatics, but it's like I see this game being similar to that 13-3 Super Bowl of Patriots Rams, where it's like, dude, the losers of that game were the watchers, whoever watched that game. I'm also thinking of it like, what was the other one? I don't know, but plus 4.5 Patriots all the way. Like, I don't see a lot of scoring. Oh, Colts versus Seahawks. Like, late in the season, Seahawks needed wins, and the Phillip Rivers Colts lost 18-15, and were in that game, but like the Seahawks defense just made stops over and over and over again. They didn't expose Sam Darnold, let him take too many risks. And I just see a game like that where like Mike McDonald's like, why would I let Sam Darnold try to lose this game for us? I'll be settling for long field goals. We'll be running the ball a lot, lots of quick throws, nothing that's going to put our team at risk. So yeah, I'm just in on like a boring game that's probably not fun to watch.
I like the overs and sacks just because the defense a heavy game and rookie quarterback and a quarterback that gives up that gets sacked a lot. I leaned the Seattle minus 4.5, but that's not really what I'm doing. I told you this is those ugly bets that you should never do, except for do it in the Super Bowl because I said so. Is the Seattle to win by 1-6? I just think it's just gonna be a close game. Super Bowls like typically are. Maybe Drake may have some like magic at the end to make it close. If there's a bet out there that Seattle at some point goes up double digits, I would actually pick that because I just think that the Patriots are going to get off to a slow start.
In terms of like Super Bowl MVPs, like I don't know who to pick. Like it's rough. I will say I'm looking at odds right now, and I'm all for crazy picks. I'm not into JSN. Plus 550 isn't high enough for me. But if you want to go like off the chart and go Nick Amenawari, the Seahawks like strong safety who's blitzes, forces fumbles, forces turnovers. I like him a lot. And then weird things. Rashid Shaheed, 30-1. If he gets a kickoff return touchdown, I could see him taking home MVP. Travion Henderson, if you think the Patriots, like he could get a kickoff return touchdown and do the exact same thing. Pick your favorite defender. I don't know. I am just not into like anything on this. And we're going to come back, watch, and it's going to be like 40-30 Seahawks won. But I just can't.
I would love that. Would be a
it.
huge win for me. I would be so pumped about that. Do you like the under at least then?
What's the total at right
45?
now? 45. I haven't even checked.
45.
45. Yeah, I take the under. If I had to write, you know me, I love my alt bets. Like if I had to do something like crazy alt line on this one, I actually would do like under 34.5. Like, give me a game that's 20-14, 17-10. I don't want to watch it.
I don't mind watching a good, like, if it's like 20-17, like it's like within a field goal, just like a good game.
All I envision is run into the back of my line, run into the back line, run in my back line, punt. Do that a lot.
We just talked up Clint Kubiak way too much to do that.
Clint Kubiak. So, but the thing is, like, the Seahawks have done that during the year, even with Clint Kubiak. Like, they've had plenty of games where it's been like, all right, like I said, the Colts game, we don't need to score, so we won't. We're just gonna we're just gonna play it safe, let our defense win the game, and you know it was the right move, right? But they trusted Darnold when they needed to. They called like against the Rams, they're like, hey, we need you to do something, make it happen. Against the Niners, they didn't need anything. They were up 7-0 and they won the game with 7 points if they wanted.
Yeah, I do think that their offense, I know that like they didn't put up the best rushing statistics, but if they can't have a play action pass game, like if the run's just completely not working, then I think it gets ugly when you're just like, okay, Sam Darnold, you're the offense. And yeah, JSNs look great. The Patriots defense just is pretty decent. I'm a Christian Gonzalez guy. I think he's top 5 and in terms of cornerbacks. So I just think that that's a tough matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you're in double him anyway, but it's like on the other side, who's going to beat the Seahawks corners? Like, I love Diggs, but he's going to get all the attention in the world, and they're going to be. And the Seahawks, man, they were pressuring. They only need 4 guys to get to you. It's crazy. So,
yeah, I like the sacks. I like Cooper Kupp overs, catches and yards. Just he's been kind of a bit of a safety blanket type of guy, so I don't think they're very high either.
4 catches plus 140. I think I would take that. That would be one that's like, if they're
And
stunting
with
the
the yards,
run.
that's probably like what, like 40,
Let's take a
45?
quick look. 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, in
Okay.
general, I think you're right there. Um, Things I'd be interested in, like Rashid Shaheed. Nah, never mind. His total's like 25, but 50 is only plus 350. But him to catch like one long ball, sneaky things like that. Kayshawn Booty is another guy who's like, oh, I can catch, a 40-yard pass and flip lanes.
I like Keishawn Booty. I also like, I know we were joking about,
Mhm.
how much we talk trash about Ramondre Stevenson all year, and he's going to be one of the prime skill players in the Super Bowl. But I actually really like Trevion Henderson. It's like, hey, this is the Super Bowl. We're against the best defense in the league. Get people who can make plays out there and like just give them an opportunity. I can see him just breaking whatever his yardage is. Like I could see him breaking, a couple decent runs and it being like the only thing that kind of works on the offense.
Yep.
Hunter
So that's all.
Hunter Henry's kind of boring too, but same thing.
That's all I have. I'm so disappointed that last year we came in here
We
all
didn't
prepped and
talk
ready.
about God. We talked
So
about
much
coaches way more than the Super Bowl.
we could talk about the Super Bowl last few years so much, like with Mahomes, with all the star players from the Eagles or the Niners. Like there were so many things to go into. We both thought overs were hitting on it, and now I'm looking at it like, all right, we're going back to like the mid 2000s Super Bowls. This is gonna be bad.
Yeah, the whole like classic like first quarter unders, rush yard, first quarter unders. It's just like it.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be defense heavy. I don't know if the defense can actually do it, like get a turnover, like make the offense make a mistake. If they're just being like everyone's super precautious and someone's like, hey, a 12-10 win in the Super Bowl is a 12-10 win in the Super Bowl.
So I need this. I need the Seahawks to win for Audrey's college fund, based on our family raffle. So I got lucky. I got the Seahawks. So we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes.
You don't
All
actually
right.
get money for it. You get a Ohio 529.
I already have one. And Audrey has enough contributions this year, so it's coming my way. This is going to the casino. And we're seeing if we can just get that fully funded right now. Uh,
Her favorite color is red, so put it all on red.
Turn $140 into 20 grand. That's what I need. Wait. Oh, okay. Now I'm curious. All right. So where's the calculator? If I have $140 at 30, what's the payout? And if you get a
36.
number right, 36.
36, yeah.
It's only $5,000. It's not even enough. Not even enough to fund my daughter's college. All right. So thanks for listening. You got some intense advice there. $140 is not enough if you hit 36 to 1. So you got to find something a little bit longer odds. Go get a crazy same game parlay that you can waste your money on.
There you go.
Ken, end on a high note. I was at
What?
Costco and they just started selling frozen potato skins. I don't know the last time you've had a potato skin, but like I
How
feel like
good are the frozen ones?
they're delicious. They are really good, actually.
Oven or air fryer?
Air fryer. You can
Yeah.
put them in an oven if you want.
No, I prefer air fryer.
So that is the new Super Bowl snack. I feel like it's part of my brand to provide these to people. Starting out with taquitos years ago. Now we're
Moving
on
on up.
to now we're on to potato skins. I know they're not new. I know everyone's probably had them, but I feel like I don't see them at restaurants and I don't see them anywhere anymore. And so when I saw a box, I had to buy them, and they hit the spot.
When you weren't in town, but our other brother was in town, we went to it was a Quaker steak and we got potato skins and they were literally like JoJo like things
Yeah.
with just like cheese and sour cream and bacon bits on it, but they were fries. They're JoJo's, like they're large.
They were just giant chunks of potato.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, this sucks. I can't like this is complete garbage.
I need a baby potato that half of the inside's been scooped out and replaced with a ton of cheese. Like,
probably
is that too
stuck
much
in
to
the
ask?
back of a fridge for 20 years.
I want to taste the freezer burn. I want to taste the fake bacon, and I want to taste.
That's it. You nailed it. And put way too much sour cream on that bad boy.
Yep.
Okay. I now want those. I gotta say, our go to has always in our house. I love chicken wings. Got to do it. But those like the long like the bar like pretzels. You know what I'm talking about?
The
Like
ones that as children you pretend are cigars,
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
pretzel
And
rods.
that's it. They're not pretzel rods, like, but they're actually like
Okay.
those. They're soft pretzels. They're like yay big.
Oh, okay.
Instead,
Never mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Those are
yeah.
way better.
But get those with like the beer cheese, like dipping
Yeah.
sauce. I got to tell you,
Change your
that
life. Just
that's
make
been hitting the spot.
just make buffalo chicken dip and dip the pretzel into buffalo chicken dip.
There we go. Yeah, we need Connor on here to tell us all how to make buffalo chicken dip because we're not adults and can't figure it out.
You don't know how to make it's the easiest thing in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
You,
No, we all figured it out. Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes Connor gives me some great lessons. Sometimes Connor, really emphasizes things that children know. All right. JJ Watt rookie card. If you're here, just hit subscribe.
It's still here somewhere. I got like a Nick Chubb one. Look at that. There you go. Cool
Nick
stuff.
Chubb. That one's not going anywhere. I'll take that from you.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Go Hawks, I guess.